showcasing local talent, professionals, and everyday people making Salt Lake City what it is today. It's time for another episode of the I Am Salt Lake podcast.
I feel like we need to give a proper introduction, a proper disclaimer. There's the word, Chrissy, for this episode. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit different. We're trying something different here in the world of I Am Salt Lake. If you've been listening to the show for a while, first of all, I want to thank you. Both of us want to thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
But you're going to notice something different. This isn't an interview episode. This is a conversation with Chrissy and myself, where we're going to talk for a little bit. We're going to kind of recap a little bit on our life.
Yeah.
As we've been up to a lot. And yes. I would like to do more episodes like this.
Yeah, I would too. Because they're fun.
They're fun. And so be patient with us. Give us feedback. I mean, without change, things become stagnant. Water begins to stink.
And we really want to find ways to improve and continue to grow and entertain you guys.
Yeah, and the podcast of 4 years. 4 years this summer. And I mean, was I going to continue on with just interviews? I don't know. I didn't want to do that. And so now that you're a co-host of the podcast, Chrissy, I felt, let's chat for a minute. Let's catch up.
Yeah.
Let's share with the listeners what's going on in our lives.
And there's been a whole bunch in the world of I Am Salt Lake.
Yeah, what's been going on over the last couple of weeks? I know a lot of people follow both of us in the world of social media, on Twitter, on Facebook. So we're here to share that with you. Again, feedback is very important. You can contact me, Chris at iamsaltlake.com.
And you can contact me at Chrissy at iamsaltlake.com. That is spelled Krissie.
And if you don't reach out and tell us your thoughts on this episode, on this change of direction, this isn't going to be every episode.
Right.
Don't worry, but it was too much to put into an intro.
Yes.
So that's why we're here to sit and we're here to talk.
Plus, we had so much fun. We just want to share it.
Absolutely.
You know?
We had a trip, but before we get into that, we got to talk about Oleo Skin and Beard.
We do.
They're our show sponsor this episode, and they have a fantastic new Bay Rum beard oil. I know you're a fan of this, Chrissy. I've been wanting to talk about this.
Oh my gosh. It is the most amazing beard oil ever.
I remember, I don't know if it was the first time I put it on or the second time, but you were like, what is that smell?
Yeah.
I need to smell it.
I need to stick my face in your beard.
And so let me tell you what, guys, if you have a beard, get this beard oil. Oleoskin.com is their website. Head on over there. You can purchase it right online. I'm sure they got it online. If they don't, they're at a lot of the markets. Wednesdays, I know they're at the Sugar House Farmers Market. That's in the evening time over there at Fairmount Park. I believe it's from like 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's every Wednesday. Saturdays, they're at the Downtown Farmers Market.
Yeah.
Sundays, Park Silly.
They're everywhere, man.
So, yeah, go tell them, hey, I heard about this Bay Rum beard oil.
I hope they never stop making it.
Yeah, exactly. But let them know you heard them on I Am Salt Lake podcast.
Yeah.
Give Derek a hug for me. Give Jenna a hug for me. They are awesome. They've been sponsors of I Am Salt Lake for a while, and like we said, I mean, this episode's a little different, but I felt like we need to give them some love.
For sure.
Oleoskin.com is the website. There is a promo code I Am Salt Lake, all one word. This is going to give you 25% off of your entire purchase. I believe Derek said they're stopping it though the end of July, so I'm not sure if we're gonna do another promo after that or what.
So buy all the Bay Rum you can before the end of July.
Well, they got all kinds of other stuff on there. They got some beard wash and
they do
and stuff like that.
I'm just saying, gentlemen, if you want to woo the ladies, fantastic.
And absolutely, and they got other scents on there.
They do.
Anyway, a lot's been going on. I mean, so I feel like the title of this episode needs to be I Am Salt Lake Invades Chicago.
Ooh.
So,
yeah.
Okay. So Chrissy and myself, we got to experience something that I know I personally dreamed of over the last few years of podcasting.
Yeah.
We went to the podcast conference. This is a once a year. Well, this was the third year they've done it.
So it's fairly new.
It's fairly new, but I've been watching them over the last couple of years. And I'm like, I really, really want to go to this. I want to experience this. I want to grow the podcast. I want to meet other podcasters. I want to connect with people.
Yeah.
And you approached me quite a few months ago.
I did.
And you're like, let's go on a vacation.
I've kind of been pushing for a vacation for a while.
Yeah, let's do this. And I said, well, why not?
Yeah.
So, I mean, us silly podcast nerds, we're like, okay, let's reach into our pocket and buy plane tickets and go to a podcast conference.
And that's how we vacay.
And, well, it is. I mean, it's brilliant.
You know, honestly, if you and I went on a regular vacation where we sat around and did nothing, I think we'd go insane. We just enjoyed learning and doing things.
I don't know.
You don't know? All right.
So I've never been to Hawaii.
Me neither.
And to me, there's nothing that would put a smile on my face more. At least I think so. Maybe I would go nuts after a couple of days.
Yeah.
But sitting on the beach, drinking like, I don't know, some
really
margaritas or Mai Tais or something with a little umbrella in it.
Something with fruit in it and an
just
umbrella.
Feel the sand between my toes and just know that nothing matters.
That's true.
But anyway, we went to Chicago.
We did.
Was this your first time to Chicago? No, this wasn't your first time because okay, this is the thing too. We spent some of it with some of your family in Wisconsin, which we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So you've been to Chicago?
Yeah, I grew up near Chicago, just north of it in Wisconsin, and we would go to Chicago all the time as a family. So,
but this was my first time.
It was your first time.
Really, besides going through the bus stations.
Oh yeah. And I've been to those bus stations.
But anyway, we had a great trip. Actually, this is fun. I want to share. It doesn't really matter. But we're having some drinks. We smuggled some mini bottles back.
We did, because they're legal in Wisconsin.
Yeah, so, Utah, we don't have mini bottles, which, okay.
They're overpriced.
I'm not really sure 100% what the reason behind not having mini bottles is. Mm-hmm. I've heard different things. I would love to investigate why Utah doesn't have mini bottles. And I know it's something stupid. I think they feel like maybe people will drink more. Anyways.
Well, it's interesting because people were asking us why.
Yeah,
and we're like,
we're out there. We're like, oh, well, you got mini bottles. And we're stocking up on Jameson and the local, some different vodkas.
Because they're adorable.
They are adorable. But anyway, so this is okay. So the story starts. How should we start this story? I want to kind of integrate a little bit about how I got to MC the July 4th art festival in Sugar House. Mm-hmm. Which was a fun day.
Busy.
I mean, it started really early. I didn't sleep well the night before, so I didn't get a lot of sleep. I get anxious when I know I'm going to be doing stuff in public, a little bit. I love to do that. I love to get out and I love to MC. But I was anxious.
And you didn't know what to expect, which makes anxiety a little bit worse.
Well, would you have known what to expect?
Oh, no, I would be freaking out.
What I knew?
I just didn't have to freak out because it wasn't me doing it.
So it was a great day. It got hot, though.
It got really hot.
I got a little heat exhausted. Mm-hmm. Got a little delusional, and I kind of, flubbed up a little bit here and there. But it was a fun day. So, I mean, that was kind of the start of all of this. It was this exhausting day. A lot of commotion, a lot of people out for July 4th. It was a great, awesome experience, though. If anybody from the Sugar House Chamber of Commerce is listening, thank you so much for letting me do that. It was a lot of fun.
It was great.
So that okay, I want to say something about you, Chrissy. You were a trooper. You hung out most of the day there.
I did. I would have hung out the whole day, but I had a family thing I had to get to in the middle.
Yeah, so...
it was a good time. I was your little slave girl. I brought you food and water.
I don't know if I'd say slave girl.
Servant, because I chose to do it. How's that?
Anyway. So that wrapped up at about 6:00, and we still had some packing to do before we headed out to Chicago.
Yeah.
We had to take Charles, our Sphinx cat, down to my mom's. My mom was going to watch Charles.
Yeah. And that was quite the ordeal because he is a very special cat.
Well, explain.
Well, he has a
You can't just say special
say
and
that.
leave it hanging.
He's so special. No, he gets cold easy, so we had to bring a heating pad
In a blanket.
and a blanket, and he
about
kind of has a
30
special food
cans
regimen.
of cat food because I
Yeah.
was so worried that he was going to run out.
He loves food, and so it was a little bit more than just dropping a cat off,
But let's okay. So we had to wake up early for I want to share this. Okay. Yeah. And I apologize, listeners. You got to bear with us. This is the first time we've done something like this on I Am Salt Lake. So anyway, we had to wake up really early for the airport. Neither one of us got a lot of sleep that night before. So I haven't flown for a minute. I don't fly a lot. I don't have the luxury of flying all the time. A lot of people get to fly for their day job, but I don't get to fly very often. So I was a little anxious. I was a little nervous. Automatically I think, ooh, I'm going to be targeted as a terrorist because I have a beard. That's how I feel. No, I do.
No, that's funny.
So I feel like, I'm going to be targeted as a terrorist, right?
Yeah.
No, this is the way I think. I used to worry about before when I used to be straight edge, I used to worry about failing drug tests. That's how I think.
Oh, wow.
So I just automatically think the worst. Okay. So I was worried that they were going to target me as a terrorist and I was not going to be able to leave Salt Lake City.
I'm sorry.
So of course,
yeah.
We get there. There's a line. The canine dogs are sniffing us, sniffing our bags. I'm worried that they're going to find marijuana that's not in my bag. So, I'm freaking out. I'm shaking. I'm nervous, but there's no drugs in my bag, so I know I'm okay. So we get to the security point. I put my bag on there. They don't even make me take my shoes off. They don't make me take my belt off. I walk through, and then I stand there. And I look around. The Chrissy's not around. Where did she go? You're the cute little blonde that shouldn't be bothered. I got through okay.
I know.
What happened to you?
Well, okay, so I have when you go to the state of Utah to renew your driver's license or get a change on it. So I changed my name back to my maiden name, and I have a temporary driver's license for a while.
Which, if anybody knows, Utah temporary, they're goofy.
They're stupid.
They're paper.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Utah... Okay,
it's horrible.
Pennsylvania, when I lived in Pennsylvania, boom, you got a new card.
Yeah, why can't they just print it out?
You've lived in other states, right?
Yeah.
Do they give you a card right away?
I don't remember. It's been a while.
Well...
But probably.
Yeah. So what did they say to you? Have you ever been stopped by the TSA? Is that what they're called, TSA?
Yeah, right. Yeah, something like that, TSA. I have I've never had the experience you had. No one's ever let me go through with my shoes and belt on.
That happened in Salt Lake.
They're always super hard on me, and I'm not sure why. It's maybe to prove that they're not targeting people. I don't know. Or I'm just extremely threatening. But because I had
if anybody's seen Chrissy, she's not threatening looking. This girl, she looks innocent. She's the type of woman that you would let watch your child.
Someone once told me that I could sneak into their bedroom in the middle of the night with a knife and a gun and they still wouldn't be scared of me.
True. Anyway, so what did they say? They said,
yeah, they had to verify that I was really me, and they wanted all these other forms of identification. And then they finally kind of said, okay, fine, you can come through. And they said, but you need extra screening. So they took me over to the far corner, did very intense extra screening. They had to go through all my bags and wipe everything down with some chemical thing. And they had to wipe my hands, and they had to test me for bomb powder.
Yeah, I saw them. They were wiping down everything.
It was nuts.
Everything. Well, anyway, so you got
and then
through.
they had to feel me up a couple of times.
Of course.
Who wouldn't, right?
And I'm sitting over there. I'm sitting on the bench better not act like I'm with her.
I know.
I'm just sitting here enjoying the view. Her? I don't know her.
I saw your face. You're like, maybe I should just get on the plane.
Well, I didn't know. Should I be associated with her? Maybe you were on the well, okay. And so
you didn't know.
This is the thing. This is the thing too, is this is our first vacation that we took together.
Yeah.
So the thing is you learn a lot about, maybe you were on America's Most Wanted list. I had no idea.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Maybe there's a past that I didn't know anything about.
Yeah. That would be a crazy way to find out. Some no-fly list.
Anyway, so fast forwarding a little bit.
Yeah.
Here. Fast forwarding just for the sake
I
of the
saw the
listener.
fear in your eyes, but we made it through.
We get on the plane. We get to Chicago just fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to bore people a lot with the first day. I mean, we met up with a friend of yours, unless you want to talk about it.
Oh, no, it's no problem. I haven't seen this girl for like 12 years.
Yeah, but it was great.
It was great.
We met a longtime friend of yours that you knew from Wisconsin because, like you said, Wisconsin was
From
some of your
first grade.
old stomping grounds.
Yeah, and she showed us Chicago, basically.
She gave us a tour.
Yeah. She showed us where we were going to stay and how to use the train system to get where we needed to go.
Which was amazing, by the way. I mean,
It was.
she was literally perfect because we got an Airbnb.
Uh-huh. To save money.
Which, well, not, okay.
Okay, no.
Without completely sounding like a cheap ass here, I wanted to experience the whole Airbnb thing.
Oh, totally.
It's kind
Me
of
too.
like experiencing an Uber or a Lyft.
Yeah. Like you've always wanted to try it, but we've never had a reason to.
Yeah. So we're like, well, let's travel. And the hotel where the podcast conference was at was very expensive.
It was incredibly expensive.
Like, holy shit balls. it was
like 4 days there would be more than rent.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like, well, let's, how should we cut costs? We got an Airbnb.
Yeah. And it was awesome.
Which your friend, like you said, gave us a train route. We figured out how to get to the Airbnb, realized, wow, we actually didn't get that bad of a spot for an Airbnb.
Oh, it was awesome.
It was a little bit out of Chicago downtown. I mean, it was still in Chicago. It was in the town, I think it was Bridgeport.
Yeah, Bridgeport.
Was the name of it.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't that far.
No, and it was walking distance to the train station.
So we took, so we got there Tuesday. We were, I mean, you were ready to sleep, right?
Oh my gosh, I was so ready to sleep. We were so exhausted.
Because you didn't get much sleep the night before that.
No, because we stayed up all night packing, bringing the cat down, and just being nervous about flying.
Well, yeah, because I think it's been a minute. Well,
it's been a while. It's 6 months.
So anyway, so we collapsed early.
Yeah.
Tuesday night. Mm-hmm. Plus, we knew we had Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this podcast conference, which neither one of us knew what to expect.
We didn't.
So
all.
we were. I mean, what was it, like 9:00?
Yeah,
and we're
probably.
Like, let's go to bed.
Yeah. Everybody's out partying and we're like, oh, let's go to bed.
So let's see. So we get there Wednesday. We get to the podcast conference. We get there and they just had these, they call them like podcast movement, PMX. They were kind of like TED Talks. It was very light.
It was nice. It was a nice ease into it.
Yeah. Very, very nice ease into it.
Yeah.
And then they had the Academy Award for Podcasters.
Which was really interesting.
That evening, which was brilliant. It was awesome. It was like, okay, this is the I want to see I Am Salt Lake up there.
Yeah. Why was there not... see, and I actually posted this to them and then deleted it because it sounded kind of bitchy.
Yeah, like why isn't there a local podcast?
I said, why isn't there a category for best local podcast? Because that's it's kind of a great idea.
Yeah, but then who would judge it? Who would base it off of? Because, I mean, you're going to have more listeners in some cities than others.
Very true.
And so, but it was brilliant.
It was.
I mean, there was, what was it? The Don and Drew show. It was the first female podcaster. Mm-hmm. They've been podcasting since like 2004.
Mm-hmm. And they were adorable.
And they got into the Hall of Fame of podcasting. Gary Leland talked about, you know what's fascinating? I might be wrong, but Gary Leland talked about a website that he used to do called the Pickle Patch or Pickle thing. And I know podcasters that talked about going onto that website to post about their podcast.
Really?
So it was kind of cool when he brought that up. I'm like, oh, I didn't know Gary did that.
That went right over my head.
So anyway, yeah, sorry, Chrissy. But it was cool. I mean, it was like it was a little slow on Wednesday, though.
It was a little slow on Wednesday.
Was Wednesday the night of that after? Was the after party Wednesday night, or was
what it was? Because it was an after party for the Academy Awards.
That's right.
Yeah, and we went to a bar restaurant and they paid for everything.
Podomatic did.
Podomatic
hosted this all-you-can-drink, all-you-can-eat party at this place. It was like Billy Goats or Billy Bob's or.
Check it out if you're ever in Chicago.
Anyway, yeah. So it was great. I mean, we get there. I got there and I was like, kind of go up to the counter and I was like, I asked one of their guys, I'm like, so is this free? Like, do I need to pay? No, just drinks. I mean, they were making up salads and burgers and drinks. And I was like, I am a rock star.
Yeah. It was
Who was there though, Chrissy?
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Who was there? I mean, okay. So let me say this though before we get into this. Before this, you have to understand there are already so many podcast hosts.
Yeah.
That I'm running into. So many people that I'm already like, oh, you do this podcast. Oh my gosh, I love that podcast. I've been listening for 5 years to your podcast, getting to meet them as I'm sure you did. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I'm like, Chrissy, look over there. Who's that over there? Who was it, Chrissy?
He goes, it's your boyfriend. Your boyfriend's over there. Okay, no one's probably ever heard of this, but there's a podcast.
I'm sure there's listeners.
There's a podcast called Lore. And the guy who does it is Aaron Mahnke. And I discovered it a little while ago and binge listened, and I've been obsessed with it and talking about it to Chris like nonstop.
Which I still haven't even listened to it yet.
I know, man. You're totally missing out. It's just my style.
Okay, how would you describe it?
It's the way I would describe it is a historical take on ancient lore. You know, like
folklore?
Yeah, like folklore. Like he'll pick a theme like vampires. And then he'll tell a lot of true stories in history that kind of fed into people creating vampire lore, you know, and kind of showing how people got creative or so people buried alive.
It's a well done podcast.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. I mean, and I always vowed if I met him in person, I would tell him that he needs to like change the way he talks on the podcast because his cadence is very strange. And that's the only thing I could never stand. But when I met him, I couldn't do it.
But you're like, Chris, will you take a picture?
Oh man, yeah.
Of Aaron and I'm gonna pick a bone with you right now. I'm gonna pick.
Okay.
Why did you only post that picture on Instagram instead of showing it off through Facebook?
Oh my gosh, did I only post it on Instagram?
Yeah, you only posted on. It was kind of like sometimes I feel like your embarrassing photos go to Instagram. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because you're just like, okay, these are where the photos go to die.
That's hilarious. You know, you might be calling me on my shit and you might be right. Because it wasn't a good picture of me. That's terrible.
I thought it was a great picture.
I'm going to put it on Facebook after we're done recording.
I thought it was a great picture.
Aw, thanks.
I mean, you're a little fangirl. You're just
Oh, man. I was geeking out. I even told him when I got close, I'm like, he calls you my boyfriend. I said that to Aaron Mahnke and it freaked him out.
Oh. I'm sure he's had worse.
I don't know, man. He avoided me the rest of the conference.
No, he did not.
No, he was good.
No, but think about it, Chrissy. Mm-hmm. Think about when people come up to us and they say, I love I Am Salt Lake.
Yeah.
I love I Am Salt Lake podcast. I mean, you get kind of taken back and you're like, oh shit, you listen?
Yeah. Oh, you don't really realize.
You don't realize, you know, but it's nice to hear.
It is. It kind of makes you feel like, oh, I'm doing this for a reason.
Yeah.
It's resonating with people. And that's really what it's all about.
But it was so cool to be there and rub shoulders.
It was amazing.
With these other amazing podcasters.
Yeah.
I mean, and this was only the first night.
Yeah. It only got better.
And then, you know, to kind of, I don't know. I don't want to, I guess I don't want to tell every footstep that we took and every, you know, obstacle we took. You know, we, in the evening time where we stayed out with Airbnb, you know, we took Ubers and Lyfts.
Right.
Mostly Lyft.
Yeah.
We're partial to Lyft. We do like the Lyft, people. You know,
and you can tip on Lyft.
Yeah, you can tip on Lyft, unlike Uber. So if Uber gets anyway, so we took Lyft around, which was great that it was there in Chicago.
Yeah. To
get around, and so we didn't have to deal with the trains. We weren't sure the areas at night. Anyway, so we took that back to our Airbnb after the party. Well, we forgot to mention at the party,
there's kind of
somebody. We're out front talking outside the bar, and somebody drives along and throws out like an M80 or a firecracker.
Yeah.
Of some sort out of the window of their, I'm assuming of their moving car. And so you have to imagine we're right in downtown. So I mean, you have towers. It's that I mean, the streets are so blocked in. So so a firecracker, the echo, the sound. I mean, it sounded like a gunshot.
It sounded like a bomb.
Well, how did that make you feel, Chrissy? What happened? Share with the listeners.
Scared the crap out of me. First instinct, scared to death. Second reaction, oh great, someone set off a bomb. We're gonna die. Like I genuinely
jumped or something, right?
I did. I jumped and I ran, and I tweaked my ankle really good. I tore something in my ankle and
I
heel.
felt so bad for you because that really screwed up our whole trip.
It screwed up the whole trip. I feel so bad.
Because I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to walk. We got to get around.
Yeah. And it was really hard. I couldn't really walk very easily for the next couple of days. But yeah, and then I was pissed and I wanted to fight the guy, but he was already gone.
And you're like, where is he at?
I was
bring him to me.
Kind of came out swinging at everybody. But it made the rest of the conference kind of rough, and I feel really guilty about that.
Luckily, it was a lot of sitting.
Yes.
But anyway, so let's kind of give a synopsis to kind of speed it up a little bit, so we're not giving. It ended up being 2 days of back-to-back speakers and talks. And they had about, 4 or 5 different rooms.
Mm-hmm. So there were 4 or 5 different talks at a time.
So you would kind of decide which ones you were going to go check out.
Yeah.
But what's cool about it is you have access, for anybody who went, you would get access to the audio and the video later on. So you knew that. You were like, okay, let's pick and choose which ones you were going to go to. Mm-hmm. And they also urged, hang out in the halls and network, which we did. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But there were some... so if you're a podcaster right now, let me tell you, and I'm sure Chrissy will vouch for this.
Probably.
Plan on going next year.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be in Anaheim. Next year, August is like the 23rd to the 25th. Podcastmovement.com is the website.
It's incredible.
They are not a sponsor of this podcast.
They're not.
So I'm just telling you that because this is such an amazing conference.
Yeah. And they sold out, so
they sold
really
out.
Really get in.
Well, now I'm nervous that we haven't gotten our tickets yet. Anyway,
we'll work on it.
Okay, so you got there and you saw the list, Chrissy, of all the talks.
Yes.
What jumped out at you? How did you decide which ones you wanted to go to?
Oh man, the ones that I really was interested in were ones that were about journalism and storytelling. And some monetization, because that's obviously the most difficult thing about podcasting.
Absolutely.
But more creating content and telling a good story. Things like that are very interesting to me because what's the point of people listening if they're not hearing something they like?
Oh, no, I agree. I think that's something that we can, storytelling.
Yeah.
Is something that I Am Salt Lake can benefit from.
For sure.
Immensely.
Yeah.
Thus, us doing this podcast.
It's a start.
Trying to learn to be better storytellers.
Right.
Trying to learn to kind of describe what's going on in our lives. Who was, besides Aaron from Lower, I'm going to butcher his last name, so I'm not going to go there. I'm sure there was a couple
besides
other
Aaron,
speakers that you kind of jumped out at you.
You know who I really loved was Phoebe Judge.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. I mean, I love her. She's an amazing journalist, an amazing interviewer.
For people, what podcast does she do?
She does the podcast Criminal, which...
Is that the only podcast?
I believe it is the only one, but I should probably stalk her a little bit, for educational reasons and find out. But she had a lot of really great advice about, knowing like how to interview people and how to pick things that would be interesting for people and, kind of knowing what to do and when to do it. So I thought that was probably the one that actually stuck out to me the most.
Even over Kevin Smith?
Oh, that's tough.
I thought you liked Kevin Smith.
I loved Kevin Smith. Okay, here's the thing about Kevin Smith. He did an amazing job.
Yeah, Kevin Smith was there, by the way.
He was there. He gave like one of the keynote talks.
Yeah.
And I think I was laughing the whole time because he ended every sentence with "and shit."
There were people walking out.
He swore so much.
He had so much language. Yeah. And I was like, I just wanted to get up. Yeah, go Kevin, go.
Even though he just mostly focused on swearing, he's still so amazing at telling a story.
What he had to say was brilliant.
Unbeatable. Like the favorite thing that I heard him say, besides, cause everything's a story and shit. That was one of my first favorite things. The other one is there's no such thing as failure. Failure is just success training.
I like that.
That was like the most amazing thing he said that stayed with me. But he was incredible. And then afterwards he hung out and talked with everyone and just was one of the guys.
I think he even jumped on like an impromptu podcast.
He may have.
Which you can go, if you follow, I know on my Instagram, it's up there. I took a picture. It might be on my Facebook too. But what else? Talk about more. I mean, I feel like I'm doing all the talking.
Oh,
here.
no, you're not.
I want you to jump in a little bit here, Chrissy.
I want to know what did you like? Like, what were the ones that stuck out to you? Because I really haven't heard that.
Okay, honestly, what I enjoyed the most is being able to just be around all of that energy
oh my gosh.
of podcasters.
It is so fascinating to get in a huge area of people who love to talk as much as we do.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I was going to say is, I've been listening to a lot of these podcasts now for 5 and even 6 years, since I've gotten heavily into podcasts, and being able to go up to them and shake these hosts' hands, these hosts of the podcasts, and say, I've enjoyed your show. Mm-hmm. I got to meet Dave Jackson, School of Podcasting.
Oh, yeah.
I've been listening to his show for a while, and it was just so nice, to just say, hey, you know what? And the thing is I know I suck. I should have emailed him. I should have, told him that I loved his podcast, but there was something nice about going up to him face to face and just saying, hey, I've enjoyed your show. If it wasn't for your show, I probably wouldn't have I Am Salt Lake today.
Yeah. That's true. There's something about really genuinely connecting with them.
And so, there was a lot of networking on my end. I really enjoyed Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed his talk. I enjoyed my mind is blank now. I should have written down some notes. But I really enjoyed, there was a lot of storytelling podcasts in there.
There were. It was kind of a theme.
The best message that I took away from there was to just be yourself.
Yes.
And the listeners want to know about us.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know, they want to connect with the host or the co-hosts. They want to connect because they're here every week. Whoever's listening right now, whoever's ear holes that I am talking into right now, you come back week after week. You want to get to know us.
Yeah, we're technically building a relationship.
And so, thus, even again, on us doing this format, this style of podcast. And that was one thing that they said is don't be afraid to try new things.
Yes.
Thus, us doing
kind of lit a fire under our asses a little bit.
I do want to mention this though. Another thing that I really, what I really liked and took away, again, the networking was so incredible. I met up with a guy, his name is Mark, and he does a local podcast out of New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I think this was Friday, and I was so bummed out because I felt like, gosh, why didn't I meet you earlier in the conference? Yeah. Anyway, he started a fantastic Facebook group, geography-based podcasts. So if you're listening right now and you do some sort of local podcast, some sort of geography-based podcast, reach out to Chrissy or myself, and we'd love to add you to the group because this group has become so fascinating to see all the other local podcasts that are out there, all the other people that are spreading good cheer in their local communities.
And they're so supportive of each other. It's amazing how much we all want to help each other and make each other's, projects grow and do better.
Make all their dreams come true.
That's right. It was really neat to meet all these people. I loved it.
What I know you took a bunch of notes, Chrissy. What do you got? I feel like you haven't even gotten to your notes.
I took a bunch of notes, like listening to the talks, but I did notice while we were there, you were constantly surrounded by people asking you for advice.
Well, because I've been doing a podcast for 4 years.
But the whole time, I'm like, man, you're kind of the expert here, and people were in line to talk to you and ask for your advice. And I was wondering how you felt about that. Because we came there to learn, but you ended up really helping a ton of other people out.
I felt honored and intimidated at the same time. Kind of like, well, this is cool. Like, I get to be the teacher now.
Yeah.
but then intimidated, like, oh my, I better not tell him the wrong thing. Like, kind of like, you tell them the wrong thing and then they go out and do it.
And then it's your fault.
And then you find out they quit podcasting. And why did they quit podcasting? Well, because Chris Hollifield at Podcast Movement told them to get rid of their Twitter account. So they got rid of their Twitter account, pissed everybody off, and quit their podcast.
Did you tell anyone to get rid of their Twitter account?
Maybe. No, I did not. But I'm just saying, like, what if I did something stupid like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just use my Twitter account as an example. But no, I felt cool. Like, cool is such a lame word. I felt like, wow, this is cool. Like, people are coming to me now.
It was super
asking
legit.
for my advice.
Yeah. Yeah. You could tell people had been watching you and paying attention and really looking forward to picking your brain. Which was fascinating.
Well, it was very fast because there was a lot of people there. That was my only complaint is that there was a lot of people there that haven't even launched a podcast. Yeah. And so it was kind of like, I felt like they needed to have a few more in-depth classes, a few more in-depth talks.
Well, and we kept discussing, why would someone invest that much in this without even having started anything?
Well, I'll tell you why. It's the same reason why they invest in a lot of those online courses. You got a conference like that. It's a little bit cheaper. They're going to go and hang out with all these podcasters. Maybe their work sent them there.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe, you don't know, you don't know how they got sent there. I mean, speaking of work, okay, there was so many companies there.
Yeah, there were.
Audible was there. Blueberry, they're podcast hosting.
Blueberry.
Spreaker, Libsyn.
Yeah, all the hosts. Dropbox was there, huh?
Yeah.
I totally missed that.
They were one of the main sponsors of the convention. You didn't see their signs everywhere?
Now that you say it, I did see signs.
Okay.
But I was thinking of the actual booths. I didn't see their booth.
They had a booth back there.
Oh,
well. I'm pretty sure it was there.
I just didn't want to walk around, so.
Yeah. Well, it was back to your foot.
Yeah. But, I mean, and we met some really cool people. We saw some amazing new mics that, thank you for everyone who's donated to GoFundMe. We really were able to test out some equipment and so that we kind of know the equipment that we want to upgrade to.
Oh yeah, we got to test all kinds of. I don't know what else to say. So let's see. Yeah. We had some Chicago deep dish pizza while we were out there. I was able to. They had some gluten-free pizza.
There was a gluten-free. They do a great job out there. There's gluten-free everything.
So.
Another question. How soft was your beard?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So the humidity. Okay. I feel like a lot of people complain.
Yeah.
About
I was complaining about
humidity in Chicago, or they get outside of Utah and they're like, oh, I love the dry heat. Okay. The dry heat. There's things that are nice about the Utah dry heat.
Yes.
There's things that because you walk into that humidity, automatically you're just like drenched.
All your clothes are sticking to you.
Exactly.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Okay, so you don't like it. I love it. To me, that's summertime. Some of the best years of my life were living on the East Coast. That is just humidity, right? So that's how I think of summer.
Yeah.
I think of humidity, and to me, that feels like summer. So we get to Chicago, and I'm like, oh, humidity.
Yeah, you loved it. And I was just like,
rub it down, rub it down, rub it down, rub it down. Okay, but this is the first time that I've had a beard in the humidity.
Really? You didn't have a beard out there before?
Not really. Not really. Okay,
I didn't know
not
that.
really. Okay, so at first I'm like, oh gosh, my beard looks like shit because of the humidity.
Yeah, because it curled a lot.
Yeah, it curled a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this, I don't look cool. Everyone's not going to talk to me because
everyone's going to judge you.
Because I'm not cool, right? But by the second day or the third, I can't remember, I start feeling my beard and I'm like, wow, this is really, really soft.
Yeah.
Like even with the Oleo beard oil, my beard is extremely softer than normal Utah.
It was like
softness.
Voluptuous.
So I was, and I started really figuring out how to style it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want to move here now just because of my awesome beard now.
And I was like, I moved away to get away from this crap.
And I know a lot of people, but The last night was probably the funnest night, I think, in Chicago.
I think because we weren't worried about having to get up early the next day.
Do you think that was what it was?
I think so, because we were really stressed out about getting there on time every morning.
Because every morning had a keynote talk.
Oh, yeah. And the keynote in the beginning. So you had to get there, make sure you could get a seat. So we were really like, it's like college, you just got to get to class on time.
But we met up with a couple of some podcasters. What's her name? Colleen she's from San Diego.
Yes, Colleen Mullen.
Colleen Mullen. She's from San Diego, and then there's
Sean.
Sean. He does Sports Geek, I believe it is, out of Australia. I mean, okay, this is the thing.
It was fun to talk to
There was
him.
a guy from Australia.
There were so many Australians
flew there to come to a podcast conference. And there were people here in Utah that do podcasts that were not there. Where were the Utah people? Why were there not Utah people?
Step it up, you guys. We were the only representatives.
I'm serious, though. Serious, though. There are so many awesome podcasters here in Utah. Why are they not at this conference?
And that's very interesting. I mean, I've been podcasting for a few years, and I didn't even know about the podcast movement until you told me.
How did you not know about it?
Well, I think this is my personal opinion.
I mean, all over on all the podcast groups on Facebook, they talk about it.
Well, and see, there's the thing. You're in the podcast groups. I never joined podcast groups. It wasn't.
Why,
I wasn't connected to. I discovered through you that there is this camaraderie among podcasters that I had never experienced before.
Really?
I was
See,
always,
to me, that was kind of what I experienced right from the beginning.
Yeah, I never had that. For me, it was me doing my own thing on my own, loving it. But I had never connected with other people who did it.
Didn't you feel lonely?
I think I would have felt lonely if I had known that was out there.
Really?
But I didn't know. I thought so many people don't even know what podcasting is that I just want to do it for me. And I never thought to connect with other people.
Wouldn't you think, okay, there's blogging conferences.
Well, I guess that's true.
Why wouldn't there be a podcast conference?
I have no excuse.
No, I mean, I'm just curious because there's a lot of podcasters here in Salt Lake City.
There are. And over the last year, they've really grown.
And why?
There's been more.
I mean, all I got to say is there better be some more Salt Lake City representation at next year's podcast conference.
Come on, you guys. It's a drivable distance.
I'm not going to hold anybody's hand.
Yeah.
They have to figure that shit out for themselves.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So anyway, we hung out with, and there were a few others. There was Adam. He's from Minneapolis. He was from Minnesota.
Now he's in Minnesota, but he grew up really close to me.
And then there was some other girl from Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there was a big group of us.
There were a ton.
There was a big group of us. We went out, like I said, for the Chicago pizza.
Yeah.
I had to, Adam, he didn't do the gluten
Adam's
thing either.
gluten-free too.
So him and I got a bro down over the gluten-free pizza. We ordered some horrible margaritas there that tasted like
they were
ass.
so awful.
Oh my gosh. And I just sucked it, and I think you guys returned yours.
You just hold your breath. No, I totally pounded mine, but I did not enjoy it.
We had our Chicago pizza that we waited forever. We had some drinks. We went high above the sky and some hotels, some swanky hotels.
Which they took us there, and we came out of the elevator, and there were all these like 20-year-olds in their clubbing clothes in a line. And I was like, oh, hell no, you did not bring us to a club. This is not okay.
Yeah, but it ended up being cool.
It was, because we weren't actually following the little youngins.
It was a really cool event. And that ended the night. The next night, we woke up early. We took the Greyhound up to Milwaukee, where your dad picked us up. I'm not going to
talk about our Greyhound breakfast, though.
Okay, I don't want to bore.
I'm not boring. I think
the Greyhound breakfast, right? Oh, yeah, that's right. They had grits.
It was fantastic.
We don't have hash because we were hungry. Okay, so we're at the B&B.
Yeah.
Airbnb. They don't have breakfast.
Right.
We had to eat something because we knew we were going to go on a Greyhound. So we're like, okay, let's get breakfast at the Greyhound station.
And this was all new to me. All new.
The Greyhound was?
I've never been to a Greyhound station before. It was the first time.
What?
Yeah, no.
When I was a little kid, my mom used to take us on the Greyhound to Minnesota.
Yeah, that's what you told me. So it was like nostalgic for you, which is awesome. But like, we got in line for the food and I was like, oh, this should be different.
We had some eggs.
We did. It was actually wonderful.
And some grits.
They did not have hash browns. They had grits.
But it was good. It was fun.
It was actually super
I don't
yummy.
really, I don't really want to completely bore the listeners
Okay.
with I mean, unless you want to get into Wisconsin. I mean, it was cool. But like I said, we got into
we
some
just had a
mini
good
bottles.
time.
I met your family.
Yeah.
It was the first time I met your family.
And I drug you to custard shops.
We went to a lot of custard shops in Wisconsin. It was
Yeah.
a great trip.
It was way fun.
I don't know. I mean, any
We
highlights
got to
of
write a
that
tube
trip?
together that we will eventually be able to post a video of.
I feel like we're just kind of rambling. It's like, oh, and this
Okay.
happened, and this. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe this
Okay.
is exciting. I have no idea. I haven't listened back to it.
Bottom line, it was an awesome vacation, but by the end, we were super excited.
We got to
come
go
home.
water skiing. You got up on, what was it, skimboarding?
A knee board.
That was in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it was like two vacations in one.
Yeah. And surprisingly, it felt like a really long vacation.
It did. It felt like 2 weeks or
It
something.
did.
We
It
bought
really
a lot
did.
of mini bottles in Chicago. Mm-hmm. We smuggled them back. But this, okay.
Smuggled them back.
This I want to get into this though a little
Yeah.
bit. I want to get into this in Chicago. Mm-hmm. We come back. We're coming back on the airplane. Your mom
Yeah.
drove us to the airport. Very
Right.
nice lady. Thank you if you're listening. Thank you for letting me stay at your house. Thank you for all your hospitality. Okay, so I don't know. Am I jumping too far ahead here?
No,
Am I
no.
jumping too far ahead?
Not at all.
It was great. It was great. I got to meet your friend Bethany.
Yeah.
I got to do all that. Anyway, we get to Chicago. We're excited to get back to Salt Lake City. I'm excited to see Charles, our cat. I just want to get home. I want to
Yeah.
sleep in our own bed.
You're just exhausted.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
We get there. We get to the airport. And for some reason, I feel like they're not going to let us through.
Yeah.
They're not going to let us through TSA especially
Something's
after
gonna go wrong.
after dealing with all of the issues that we dealt with in Salt Lake with
Mm-hmm.
you. So we get through, and you have to understand, I had all the mini bottles
Yeah.
wrapped up in T-shirts inside my carry-on
It's good they were in
luggage.
your bags.
Exactly. So I get through, and I take my shoes off this time. I take my belt off this time. I get through, and I look around, and Chrissy's not around. Okay, I'm used to this by now. I'm used to this. So I go sit down for a little bit. I go sit down. I don't know, 10 minutes later,
Probably.
I get a text that says, I'll meet you at the gate in a little while.
And I actually erased half of the text because I was going to write, I'll meet you at the gate in a little while if they let me through. But I'm like, that will just freak him out. I can't say that.
So tell about it. What happened?
Oh, man. Well, apparently they're not allowed to accept a temporary ID on paper as a form of identification.
Chicago's not.
Chicago's not.
Even though that is a legal form of identification in Utah.
Yep. And they basically at first they called a bunch of managers down and sat and talked to me, and then they told me that they don't think they can let me leave. They don't think they can let me get on the plane.
What's going through your head right now?
I was just like, man, God damn it. That's what was going through my head. But like, I was like, okay, I was creating a game plan. I'm like, Chris can get on the plane. He can go home. I'll call my mom and have her swing back and pick me up, and I'll figure something out. You know, if worst case scenario. Or the other alternative is, awesome, I'll just tell Chris to come back out and we have to stay in Chicago a couple more days. Extra vacation time. But,
Because, I mean, that seems like as good of excuse as any. Hey, I got to call my work up. Hello, I'm stuck in Chicago because
Yeah.
Chris can't come through because she's a terrorist.
because she's a terrorist. I really felt like one. I was trying not to be super angry, but they pulled me aside. They had to call some government agency to like verify my identity. It took a really long time. And then they had to put me through extra security again. Go through everything, check me for dust, whatever, wipe everything down, and then feel me up a couple more times.
But they did this all in a private room.
No, they actually didn't. They did it just kind of in a corner.
Okay.
But you wouldn't have been able to see
So
me.
you had a little audience there.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. It was a good time. I mean, I love having people watch me.
So you got through, though.
I did. I eventually got through. It was amazing. And by the time I got through, I was incredibly frazzled because I just wanted to just yell at people. So I had to kind of calm down.
Get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah, I was pissed, basically. So yeah, I'm never flying again with a temporary ID. Don't do it, guys. You just maybe won't come home.
Yeah. So yeah, well, there's a good lesson learned for Utah listeners, because there's a lot of us
huge.
that deal with Utah temporary IDs. And what do they say? They take 90 days to get?
Yeah,
Something
I think
ridiculous
so. I
like
mean,
that?
I ordered mine or went to go get a new one weeks and weeks ago, and it still hasn't come.
Ridiculous.
So, yeah.
So anyway, we're back here in Salt Lake City.
We made it.
Okay, so this was funny too. I want to share this quick story. I forgot I requested the day off after. So at my day job, I didn't realize, so I'm frantically, we got home pretty late. It was about 11:30 by the time we landed, 11:30 at night. I had to zip down to Provo to pick Charles up. My mom was watching it for the week, but I wanted him to get back here to Salt Lake. So I'm doing all this really quick, and I still have some unpacking to do. I had a little bit of, get Charles settled. I get to bed about 2:33 a.m., but I was like, I have to work the next day. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, why did I not request?
Actually, no, you said it quite a few times. You're like, I should have requested an extra day off.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I get to work and my manager's like, Chris, what are you doing here? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I have you down that you're off today. And I said, bullshit. So look, I'm like, sure enough, there I am. I'm off. I'm scheduled off. I said, well, you know what? I'm an idiot, but I'm going to take you up on that. I'm tired. I'm going home and going right back to bed.
Oh, yeah.
And I did. And I was a little hopped up on caffeine at this point, so it was a little hard for me to wind down.
Your body was pretty confused.
Oh my gosh, tell me. And so I went home and laid down, and it was great. I was able to catch up on life. And anyway, but that's.
And I was jealous.
You were jealous. I felt bad to text you, and I mean,
I know.
I was kind of secretly hoping that you would say screw it and come home too.
I should have, man, because I was at work all day. I had a really rough day when I came back.
You did.
Yeah. So, but I'm happy for you.
There you go. There you go. Anyway, that's the story. That's the vacation. I mean, this was a fun trip. I mean, it's I wanted to keep it down. I mean, we're a little under an hour.
Okay.
At this point.
And I just hope we represented everyone really well. I mean, when we were walking around the conference, people would see us and just yell, "Hey, Salt Lake."
Yeah. Well,
So-
it was good. We had our I Am Salt Lake stickers on our badges.
Yes, we did.
So we were representing Salt Lake City.
So whether you like it or not, we're your representatives now.
Absolutely. So, again, this is different. This is a little bit different for I Am Salt Lake. Don't unsubscribe.
Don't
Please.
unsubscribe.
Please. I mean, tell us if this was a bunch of hillbilly jibber jabber.
Yeah.
I mean,
We can't know
we don't
how to
know.
make it better without your input.
But I want to believe that people want to know what's going on in our lives.
I think so. We're super interesting.
You can find me on Twitter at I Am Salt Lake.
And you can find me on Twitter at Chrissy Tweets.
But, I do want to read a quick letter, though, really quick. I just got this letter today from a listener of the show, Michelle. Okay. She wrote a letter, which basically I'm reading this to urge more letters, more emails. I love to go to the inbox of my email, and there's emails there.
Yeah.
As I'm sure you do. And so please email the podcast and let us know your thoughts. Anyway, she wrote in, "Hi, Chris and Chrissy. I was listening to your latest podcast and you brought up a suggestion that I've been meaning to send to you. I previously wrote you thanking you for talking with a restaurant that has gluten-free options. At that time, I don't think you had switched to gluten-free lifestyle. Now I would love it if you did a gluten-free podcast episode or more. I love going to SLC in regards to gluten-free because they have more options than we do up here in Ogden, although it's getting better. I use a gluten-free app called Find Me Gluten Free, which on a side note, I need to check this app out.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, but if people don't go put suggestions into it, then not all of the businesses are listed. I know I'm rambling, but what I'm getting to here is that I would love to hear from some restaurants that do gluten-free and what their processes are. I saw one time you were raving about a Waffle House that did gluten-free, but then Danielle Uberalis asked if they had a cross-contamination issue. Being celiac, that is something I would love to be part of. I would love to be part of it. Does the restaurant offer gluten-free items, and is it just for those seeking a gluten-free lifestyle, or is it safe for people with celiac disease and or a gluten allergy? Thank you for all your hard work. I really appreciate you a lot, Michelle."
And she makes such a valid point. That's an excellent,
absolutely
excellent letter.
And no. Well, exactly. I want to try this I want to try this app. Find Me Gluten Free.
Yeah.
It sounds wonderful. I would have loved it in Chicago.
Oh man, it would have been so nice in Chicago.
So basically, I'm urging everybody here in Salt Lake City that is gluten free to download this app and let's all take part. I haven't even looked at it.
Let's pitch in.
Let's leave reviews. I would love to do some gluten free episodes.
Yes.
As people listening know, I do eat a gluten free lifestyle. I love it. It's fantastic. People can sit and can say it's a bunch of hogwash if they want. It works for me.
Right.
Okay. So I'd love to do some more episodes on eating gluten-free here in Salt Lake. So thank you, Michelle, for reaching out.
It's great that she suggested that because that's actually something we had been discussing.
Oh, well, and I know we've talked about it.
Probably.
Yeah, I think the episode she's talking about is a 3 Pints Coffee episode.
Oh, yeah, because he's gluten-free.
He was talking about that, I think.
Yeah, I remember that.
Episode. So.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's just going to be a great future endeavor. If you guys have ideas of things that you would like to hear or topics that you would like us to discuss in Salt Lake, please email us.
Podcast can't get better unless we hear from you. Plain and simple.
Damn straight.
I mean, that's the end of story. I mean, it's going to keep hitting walls unless we hear from you. We are doing a GoFundMe, though.
Yes.
I don't think I mentioned that, or either one of us have talked about our GoFundMe. If you go to iamsaltlake.com/GoFundMe, all one word, or just go to iamsaltlake.com, hit the banner up top. It will send you to the GoFundMe page. It will tell a little bit about it, how we're trying to save up money to get some new equipment. Mm-hmm. Even if, $5.
Yeah.
I'm serious. It doesn't have to be a large amount of money. If you've gotten any benefit from this podcast, please consider donating.
Every little bit genuinely helps.
I know Chrissy and myself, we've been pulling money out of our own personal pockets.
Yeah.
Really for all of this. And I love it and it's fine, but it gets hard and you get to a point where you're like, I don't know if I can keep doing this.
Well, and really at the end of the day, if we have some support from you guys, we can produce better episodes.
Exactly.
We can really invest our time more to create better things for you. So
absolutely. And please go to the website, iamsaltlake.com. Subscribe. We're on Google Play, Stitcher, or iTunes.
I also, if anyone out there has ideas for what you would like to see on the website, we're trying to create a blog. We want to be a good resource for you. Send me a note. Chrissy, KRISSIE at iamsaltlake.com and say, I sure wish your website had this.
Like what are you thinking?
Oh, well, we've talked about...
You're so vague in your description.
I'm purposely vague.
But if I was listening, I wouldn't know what is she talking about. Give me an example.
Well, let's say you want to find a calendar of events of things that are happening in Salt Lake.
So why don't we do it?
We're working on it.
Okay.
But the more you tell us that you would like that, the more motivated we are to get it done faster, honestly.
Sure.
Because it's beneficial to listeners.
There's a lot. I think there's a lot that nobody knows what they want because they're like, I don't know. But just, we'll do cool stuff on there.
Yeah.
We'll do cool stuff. But
totally.
I think that's it. I think that's going to do it. I mean, please subscribe, rate, and review in iTunes. That helps the podcast out. I know both Chrissy and myself love to see the reviews that people leave in iTunes. It's been a minute since we've had a review in iTunes.
Yeah. And if you can't afford any donation, review us. Just give us a review.
Yeah. Review. That's absolutely the reviews. I mean, those help the podcast out immensely. So, my name's Chris Hollifield,
and I'm Chrissy Shelley,
and this has been the I Am Salt Lake podcast. You guys have a great week.